I'd like to crave our indulgence to kindly share the link with everyone who you know is interested in Forex trading, right? Everyone you know this will be beneficial to. Kindly share the link on your various social media handles, platforms rather, on your WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, what have you, wherever this link can be shared so that other people can also benefit from today's analysis. So I'll be giving us 30 seconds to do that before we ride on today's analysis. All right, so while we're still in the process of sharing the link with everyone, we'll just head straight to the chat, right? So we'll be starting with the dollar index, otherwise known as the DX and as the XY. Give us a moment so that the chat can load. All right. So on our monthly time frame, you can see that dollar is clearly bullish to the upside. And then when dollar trades into this region, I'd like to see some sort of a reaction to the down, some sort of a reaction from that point, I beg your pardon, right? And on a weekly time frame, dollar is clearly bullish from our fib that we drew on a weekly time frame. You can see that price got to 78.6% fib level, right? Reacted to the upside from that point, retraced again into 61.8% fib level, reacted to the upside, taking out this high. And then we know that after every expansion to the upside, we expect some sort of a retracement before, price continues whatever it's doing to the direction of the overall direction. So I'm kind of expecting some sort of a reaction into this fair value gap on the weekly time frame, right? Before price continues its buy to the upside. On our daily time frame, you can see that price already retraced into this level, into this fair value gap here, and there's some sort of a reaction. So if price doesn't hold, if price doesn't react from this region to the upside, then I expect that price should, sell off to this high, right? And then continue its trend to the upside. That is, if price doesn't react to the upside from this region that we just marked here, from this fair value gap, if price doesn't react from that region to the upside, then price should come all the way into this high before, buying to the upside on our daily time frame. And for our 4-hour time frame, you can already see that price retraced into this fair value gap here, right? I expect that price would go bullish from this region. This place that price has already retraced into this fair value gap. I expect that price should keep buying from this region. But if price doesn't buy from this region, then price wants to go all the way to that high on the daily time frame before going bullish. But I do expect that price should go bullish from this region on our 4-hour time frame, for price to continue its buy move to the upside on our 4-hour time frame, right? So for the XY, I am bullish for the day if price holds from that region that we just marked on the 4-hour time frame. And then down to Euro USD, we can see that price is clearly bearish to the downside on our monthly time frame. And on our weekly time frame too, price is also clearly bearish on our weekly time frame. Can see that price out this low. And then after every expansion, like I said, expecting a retracement. And on our weekly time frame, we can see that price kind of tapped into this fair value gap on the weekly time frame. So we are expecting some sort of a reaction from that region since price already tapped into our fair value gap on the weekly time frame, right? For the daily time frame, right, we can see that price has already retraced into this fair value gap, right? Of course, like I said, after an expansion, retracement before price continues its overall trend to the downside. So price has already retraced into the fair value gap on our daily time frame, coinciding with this low, whereby support becomes resistance for our sell to continue on our daily time frame, right? So on our daily time frame, I'm expecting that Euro USD should sell off from where it is right now. And for our 4-hour time frame, price is bearish, clearly bearish. Price traded into the FVG, into this FVG here, and is reacting off that region to the downside. We'll enter this sell when we see a proper break of structure to, align with our bias for the sell on the Euro USD, right? So when I say proper break of structure on 4-hour time frame, I'll head down to my 1-hour time frame and I'll look out for my base and base continuation. Then go down to my 5 minutes time frame and I will look out for my bearish variation, right? So I'm just going to wait, fingers crossed, and watch out for price to do its own thing. Down to GBP USD. On our monthly time frame, price is bearish, breaking downwards, forming lower lows and lower highs, right? On our weekly time frame, just going to draw my fib from point A to point B. Right, we can see that price retraced into 78.6% fib level, sold out from that region, retraced again into 61.8% fib level, and sold out from that region, right? Creating a very tiny fair value gap here. Right, so I expect some form of a retracement into this very tiny fair value gap on our weekly time frame. Right? So on our daily time frame, we can see that price is bearish. Price is bearish. Then it retraced and surpassed this fair value gap right here. So somewhat, we should have been expecting a reaction when price, but retraced into this region. We should have been looking out for a reaction to the downside, but we can see that price surpassed this fair value gap here and traded to the upside, right? There's an other block here that I am expecting and suspecting that price would want to retrace into before continuing its sell to the downside on our daily time frame for GU. Then on our 4-hour time frame, right, we can see that there's also this fair value gap here that price was supposed to react off from, but it surpassed it and kind of traded into this 4-hour order block here, right? Before we are seeing some sort of a retracement, continuation of the trend to the downside. Price tapped into the wicks of this order block, and there's some sort of reaction from that region to the downside. So on yesterday, while I was analyzing, I kind of saw a box pattern on our 1-hour time frame. You know, shoulder, sweep, break, and then price did as if it was going to react off the shoulder, but it didn't. It disregarded it to the upside, trading into the 4-hour order block. So this shoulder pattern did not hold on the 1-hour time frame because price did not react off the shoulder when it got there on our 1-hour time frame. So we are going to look out for proper break of structure before we'll be confident enough to take the sell on Euro USD and GBP USD, right? So fingers crossed while we watch price do its own thing, and then when we see a proper break of structure and an entry signature, we'll be confident enough to take the sells on these various currency pairs. This, if you have a different bias from what was just analyzed, now we can actually type in chat box and I'll be asking the guys on the floor if they are seeing something else. CJ is agreeing with my analysis, I guess. So if you have questions or a different bias, or if you're seeing something that you want to call our attention to, please. Okay, someone said he has a buy bias on GU today. Okay. All right, can you kindly tell us what you're seeing? Well, if you notice what I said on GU, I said I expect that price will trade into this other block on daily time frame before it continues its sales to the downside on our daily time frame. But I had seen that price had already traded into the 4-hour order block. So I was expecting some form of reaction to the downside from the 4-hour order block. Right? So on our daily time frame, I really expect that price should, it might not play out today, that price should, retrace into this other block before selling off from that region on a daily time frame. But I'm having sell bias from a 4-hour time frame because price has already tapped into the 4-hour order block. But for today, I'd want to sell GU. Just for today, I'd want to sell GU. My bias is actually from the 4-hour order block. I'd like to sell GU today. So time is fast spent. I will be calling on CJ. If you have more questions, you can actually sign up for our FX bootcamp and every question will be addressed there. But our time is constrained here because it's just a market color. If you want an in-depth understanding of the other block, FVGs, base strategy, box strategy, sign up for our FX bootcamp training, right? I will be going off and calling on CJ to carry out his own analysis for today. Thank you for having me.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the market color for today, the 24th of April, 2024. I'm excited to have you all join our live market color for today. Right about now, I'm going to be analyzing the gold against USD, which we use as a reference to other precious metals. Then we're going to analyze the yen basket as a reference to other yen related pairs. And when we're done with that, we're going to now take commentaries, I beg your pardon. And after taking commentaries, we'll take questions, and then we'll call it a day for today's market color London session. All right, so quickly, we're going to be starting off with gold. Now, we know that gold, although it has been on its natural bullish trend for quite a while, we also saw something interesting happen in the last few days. Lekon highlighted that, where we saw gold break its 4-hour structure, giving us a sign that we may be experiencing some bearishness in gold within now and the next few days, or running into some couple of weeks. This was our reference point. Okay, this low right here, where price currently is, it was our reference point for the gold sell. And seeing how that gold has broken structure around that level smoothly, we're expecting further sells on gold on the long term to mitigate some of the unmitigated regions that gold left off while taking its long buy trend. All right. So that is on the long-term approach for gold. So I'm expecting some more sells on gold to the downside. However, before or while gold is doing that, we also expect it to mitigate the sell swings that it has created. One of the levels that I'm looking to see gold possibly mitigating to is this level right here. This is a very good level of interest for me, because if you try to get your premium discount array from this whole swing around here, you see that this level aligns with 61.8 level. All right, around 50 levels, there is not so much that gold will be interested in doing around that level, but on 61.8 level, it's more interesting. All right, that region between 650 and 61.8 is a very interesting region that I'm expecting gold to trade into. All right, so going into maybe the second part of this week, starting off from today, we may see gold trade into there. However, on the intraday perspective of gold, looking at what we have today, I'm expecting some sell-off of gold today. All right, so I'm expecting gold to sell off into this level. So I'm expecting gold to sell off into this level right here. As you all know, our good old box strategy always plays out on gold. So I'm expecting a move of gold into this level between today, London session, into the New York session today. All right, that is one of the things that I'm anticipating to see play out on gold today. Okay. Now, when price trades into this place, the next level that I want to see gold trade to is this place here. So I'm going to draw our path to, so that we'll see the places that we're expecting gold to travel to. All right, so I'm expecting gold to travel from here to this place and then back up here before the return to the downside. Okay, so this is my expectation on gold, and I'll be following through with this analysis all the way to the downside. Now for intraday, if you've already missed out on the buy, because gold gave so much reasons to buy, to sell rather, if you've missed out on the sell, you can wait for this level to see if it's going to play out on gold. Just wait and see if this box is going to play out on gold. If it does, then it's a good place to sell gold all the way to the downside to our reference point. So we're looking for the next trade of the day. We're looking to sell gold around 2328 region, 2328 region, and then we're looking to sell it all the way to, can't even see the level on 5 minutes. All right, all the way to 2299 region. So we're looking to sell gold from 2328 region all the way to 2299 region. So if we should see repricing of gold within this London session or during New York session, possibly London could sell off and New York could give us retracement, or between the London New York overlap, we could see a retracement into this level, I'll be willing to sell gold all the way to the downside if that should play out. So I've given you the long-term perspective of gold. We're bearish, kind of long-term between, let's say, weekly trend of gold, we're bearish. And then for the daily trend, we're also bearish. We're looking for a sell to buy scenario, right? For the intraday analysis. Then for today, we're expecting gold to return to this level so that we'll see further buys, further sales rather, to the downside. So the moment gold comes into this place, I'm looking to sell it all the way to 2299 region. And after it gets to 2299 region, I'll be expecting a buy on gold all the way to the levels that we've highlighted. That is around 50, 61.8 swing level of this whole swing to the downside. I hope that is clear to everyone. So that is all for our analysis on gold. All the gold traders who has been asking out for gold all this period. I think yesterday many people were asking about gold. Now you have your analysis on gold, and I really hope you're going to take advantage of it as much as you can. Now, when you take advantage of it, always feel free to share it on the market color group, because it's not going to be very fair that we give you analysis, and then when you take advantage of it, you don't even know that you're taking advantage of it. All right. So when the accolade is due, please give us our accolade. Thank you very much. Now over to the next part of this analysis. We're going to be looking at the yen basket. Very interesting times for the yen basket and all those who trade the yen. We're in a very interesting period. Now we're seeing signs of interest rate hike on the yen. So that is why you're seeing the fears on the yen. If you've been looking at the yen pairs for some time lately, you'll be seeing some spikes to the downside, which is showing us that the yen is showing some resilience and going further downwards. Economically speaking, the yen should be selling off downwards because the country, the economy or the government of Japan, they are not showing any signs, or they're not taking any measures to improve their economy in terms of GDP, CPI, in terms of interest rate and the like. So the only thing that they are pushing or they are mounting pressure on is interest rates, neglecting other growth factors or other economic factors. Now, with that being said, we're expecting the Bank of Japan to release the interest rate for this month tomorrow morning. All right, tomorrow morning, I mean in Nigerian time, and that should be afternoon Japanese time. All right, so we're expecting interest rates to come out tomorrow. Interest rate is already at 0.1. We're expecting that they may give another 10 basis points hike to take the interest rate to around 0.2, 0.3 levels. And with that, we are expecting some bullishness in the yen between now and the remaining part of this week. Hence, you'll be seeing sell-off in currency pairs like GBP JPY, even USD JPY, and Euro JPY. Now, talking about the buys on the yen, where are we expecting these buys to trade to? We are going to be looking at it from the daily time frame, of course, so that we'll have a broader perspective of this currency. Now, for the daily time frame, what I'm anticipating the most is a spike on the yen. I'm just anticipating a spike, and then maybe the yen could continue collapsing to the downside, because compared to other currencies, the yen is so weak. So I don't think this interest rate will be enough to change the trajectory of the yen basket totally. So for the news that we're expecting to be released, one of the places I'm expecting the yen to return to is somewhere around the body of this spike to the upside. Okay, so I'm expecting the yen basket to possibly trade into this place at first. Okay, so that is the first place I'm expecting the yen basket to trade into. And then the second place I'm expecting it to trade into is to clear out all these highs that it has built here as liquidity, to clear them all out and then trade into this place here. This is a breaker block that has been left unmitigated for a while. So I'm expecting the yen basket to trade into this level, okay? But overall, from the news released tomorrow, I'm expecting bullishness on the yen. Now let's take a look at some yen currencies as we wrap up. For USD/JPY, you know that it has created a new all-time high. Usually after an all-time high, we should expect some retracement, but we're not going to rush into that retracement. For USD/JPY, one of the levels I'm expecting it to trade into during this whole yen interest rates saga. I'm expecting USDJPY to retrace into this consolidation that it had somewhere around 22nd of March to 11th of April. 10th of April, yeah, I think. So I'm expecting USDJPY to return to this unmitigated region before it continues its way to the upside. So if the yen should become bullish, if the yen comes out bullish based on the news release, I'm expecting USDJPY to return to somewhere around here. But of course, we're expecting GDP from the US tomorrow. So that's going to be kind of a conflict in terms of the USDJPY trade. So we're going to be seeing a lot of spikes between today and tomorrow on USDJPY. Already, we've seen one that happened quite like an hour or 2 hours ago. We're expecting more of that to happen. So for I'll be advising those who trade USDJPY, I think this is the period you should sit out and just watch what the geopolitical analysis is going to play out. All right, that is for USDJPY. Now let's look at some other yen-related currencies. Let's look at GBP-JPY. Now for GBP-JPY, of course, you're already seeing that it is stalling. There's no momentum to the upside. So I'm expecting for GBP-JPY, I'm looking forward to a sell-off. Right, there are liquidity points right below, all the way right here on my dotted line. I'm expecting GBP-JPY to trade into those levels and take out those liquidities that are residing right there. So this is my target for GBP-JPY. So let's look at what we expect to see intraday on GJ. Intraday on GJ is in a range. You can see from the swing high to the swing low of this range, it has been ranging inside of it. So two things I'm expecting from GBP-JPY based on this range. I'm expecting number one, a manipulation. That is to say that price will move in the wrong direction first before moving in the right direction. So you may see something like this play out on GJ. Price may go to violate this high right here, this swing high right here. Price may go ahead to violate it and then come downwards. So I'm expecting something like this to play out on GJ, whether now or later. This is one of things that could possibly play out on GBP-JPY. But overall, when I start seeing clear sell entries or sell confirmations, I'll be willing to go short on GBP-JPY in the long term. Intraday, one of the places we may be looking to see GBP-JPY trade into is somewhere here. So if you look clearly on the 1 hour time frame, we've seen a break of structure. If we see a retest of GBP-JPY, the GBP-JPY should give us a retest. We may see it selling further downwards. Okay, so from where price is, we see a retest, we may see GBP-JPY sell further to the downside. And where are we selling to? We're selling to 192 region. That is the place we are selling GBP-JPY to, 192 region. Okay, so that is all for GBP-JPY. At this point, we're going to be entertaining questions if you have any, while we call it a day. So if you have any questions, make sure you start asking your questions in the chat box so that we can attend to it. And some of you may be wondering, how are you going to know when we at the floor are going to be taking these trades based on our analysis? So this is just to tell you, in case you don't know, and if you know, this is a reminder to you that we have a premium group, kind of an exclusive group, where we share all our trade markups and our entries, our exits, our stop losses, take profit, even how we manage the trades based on risk to reward ratio. Now, this group is totally free. And to gain access to this group, you'll just have to carry out 3 exercises. Not cumbersome, not so much, very simple exercises. The first is to sign up with our preferred broker using the link in the chat box. And after that, you fund your account with about $500, $1,000, even all the way to $20,000 if you can. And then you send us a screenshot as a proof that you funded your account. Once you've done so, you're going to be added to the group, so that as we're analyzing here, beyond analyzing here, we're going to go back and take these trades. When we're taking these trades, we're going to be sharing it with everyone on that group. So do well to be a part of the group. And then if on the other hand, you are now so busy that you may not be following up with the signals and the trade calls, we have another option for you. And that option is our copier. We have a copier that we've made open to the public. So if you want to be copying our trades automatically without making any input, all you just do is follow the instructions that are going to be given to you when you make your inquiry. Just tell us that you want to make inquiry on the copier. We're going to send all the instructions to you. You fund your account, you link it with our copier, and then as you're taking trades, it's going to be automatically reflecting in your account. All you have to do in this case is just wait till Friday and make your withdrawals. At least for the last 8 weeks, we've been making withdrawals every Friday, all right? So make sure that you join in that band. So those who are asking, how can I get the copier? So send us a message right now on Telegram, and we're going to walk you through. Or within this period, you may see a message in the chat box showing you how to join the copier. But if you don't see one, then send us a message on Telegram, a private message on Telegram, and then we're going to walk you through. We're going to give you step-by-step process on how to join the copier. Some people may even want to do the two offers, take on the signals and take on the copiers. Whichever way you can put your eggs in various baskets. But what we know is that the egg is going to hatch and you're going to harvest the fruits of your labor, surely. All right, so that will be all for today's analysis. Let me take a few questions and we'll wrap it up from there. Now, someone is asking, GBP has been pushing for days. What are your thoughts on this currency from your analysis? Seems you are selling the GBP. Is it short term or long term? GBP sell is long term, right? GBP sell is long term. If you look at it from the weekly perspective, you will see where we're coming from. Look at it from weekly, or let's start from monthly. Look at it from the monthly perspective. I mean GBP USD, not GBP as a currency. I believe you're talking about GBP USD. All right, so look at it from the monthly perspective, look at it from the weekly perspective, then to the daily time frame. You now find out why we say GBP USD sell is long term. Okay, so all the buys you're seeing, like the ones that happened yesterday, they're just mere mitigations of unmitigated levels in the GBP USD chart. Okay, and currently we're expecting further sales on GBP USD, just like Cynthia analyzed wonderfully. All right. So those who are asking, how do we go about the copier? You have your instruction. I've already told you what to do. All right. When you do so, we're going to get you added to the copier. Now, another question says, do we have break on structure on GUH1? Are we expecting a retracement? Yeah, there's a similar break of structure on GBP USD. We may see a retracement back to the order block, or the breakout block rather, that the other block that should have returned price to the upside. Okay, so for GBP USD, we may see a return to the former order block, which is now the breakout block. And when price returns there, we may be selling off GBP USD continuously till the end of the week. And then the person that asks, what's the target for GBP JPY? I believe that is wisdom. The target for GBP JPY is 192 levels. That's our target for the sell-off of GBP JPY, 192 levels. You see that level that is marked on the chart right now? That is the target for GBP JPY. Another question, how can I get on the copier? We'll send you our WhatsApp number, 081 60 99 50 30. Send us a DM and we'll walk you through on how to sign up with our copier. Then the last question says, I actually mean for a buy on GU. I'm not looking out for a buy on GBP JPY. I'm thinking the sell-off, sorry, the buy yesterday has mitigated a lot of places where we expected it to do so. So going forward, we may be seeing sales continuation on GBP USD. All right. However, we are not disputing the fact that price could likely buy. All right, because if you look looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, you will see some levels that could attract price. However, from the swing of yesterday, from the bullishness or from the swing that happened yesterday, we expect at least some mitigation of those swings. So I'm expecting a sell in New York, London session for GBP JPY. When we return in the New York session, we're going to give you updates on what happened in the London session. And after we do so, we're going to now show you where we expect price to go to. But in summary, for London session, just like Cynthia said, we're expecting a sell-off of GBP USD. Then in New York session, we're going to give you an update on what is happening. Okay, AUD USD is on a sell. All right, so we spoke about this yesterday, so you can make reference to our previous video on AUD USD so that you get more perspective on that particular currency pair. Then it says, what is the ideal stop loss on GBP JPY? To be honest, in trading, there's no ideal stop loss. 5 pips can be an ideal stop loss for some people. 10 pips can be an ideal stop loss, 20 pips. It depends on your trading strategy. All right, your trading strategy should show you how you should place your stop loss, your risk to reward, and all that. So if you're using the box strategy, we've already taught how to place your stop loss and take profits in the box strategy. Whichever strategy you're using should cater for your stop loss and take profits. Now, another question says, the copier you're talking about, is it the same but attachment for copying? I don't really get your question, but maybe if you WhatsApp us, we would be able to walk you through your question. But I don't think your question is very clear. I don't really get it. So right about now, we're going to be taking commentaries from our boss before we wrap up today's analysis. Good morning, sir.
I greet you. CJ, I greet you. CJ Banks, I greet you. The people online on Zoom, I greet you. All of you, I greet you. Those of you that have entered trades and you're managing your trades, I greet you. Those of you who are in drawdown and you are fighting the inevitable, yeah, that bros over there, managing that trade, I greet you too, sir. I advise you to do the needful and take your loss. All right? Anyway, so I just want to do a quick top down. Somebody asked a very good question about GU. As traders, be laughing, be laughing. Anytime you have to relax, catch cruise, laugh, exercise, eat well, things that will stabilize your hormones, dopamine, stress hormones, pain hormones, pleasure hormones, keep them regulated. So someone asked a very good question that what's going on with GU. So let's find out what's going on with GU. CJ, please give me Forex Live. Give me newsnow.co.uk. Give me Forex Factory. Give me FinViz. So anytime I see something in the markets that I don't understand or that I want to get a clearer perspective of, these are the 4 websites I visit to give me some sort of commentary. Now, this is different from Twitter, where I have some individuals that I listen to for the specific pairs that I'm trading. All right, I've mentioned this before. So he asked the question, what is going on with the pound? So let's try and have an idea. So when did the pound start its move? It's very simple. If you want to understand that one, you just look at your charts and see places where there were strong moves to the downside or to the upside. You can check that on the 4-hour. You zoom out on the 4-hour time frame so you can see. So at the start of this week, we saw a sharp move to the downside, on GU. So that means we want to know what happened on Monday or on Tuesday that caused that sharp move to the downside. All right. MT4 will have showed us the period separators. We may not be able to see it so clearly here on TradingView because there are no period separators, but that sharp move to the downside, okay, there are, beautiful. That sharp move to the downside. And what do you notice now? Price has gone back to the exact place where the market opened. The market opened today being 24th. The market opened from 19th. It closed 19th on Friday, then it opened on the 20, exactly. So that's the open there. So you see that price has even gone into the high of Friday. So that is a sweep. That is a sweep. It swept all the liquidity of last week and brought it down, and it has gone back. So what is responsible for this? Let's see Forex Factory and look at the calendar. Forex Factory calendar. Let's see what possibly happened for the week and see what could have triggered it since Sunday, Monday. So GBP, there's no high impact news there. But on Tuesday, we see GBP. Is there any high impact news on Tuesday? Yes. PMI, Purchasing Manager Index. So we know that that is what pumped volatility into the markets. We also had flash PMI for the pound, for the dollar. So there was flash PMI for the pound and flash PMI for the dollar. So that is the trigger. Let's now go to Forex Live, forexlive.com or Currency Market News to see the headlines. I prefer Forex Live because they give a commentary. They give a commentary. So Forex Live because they give a commentary. So we know it's PMI that came out and it's PMI that made the markets move the way that it did. Forex Live is not opening. We don't know why. Maybe they have banned it too in Nigeria because everything that has Forex in it, they have banned it. Anything that has Forex is looking like they are banning it small by small, blaming it for the exchange rate. All right, so currency market news. Let's see that, newsnow.co.uk. Newsnow.co.uk. All right. So let's scroll. Scroll. Popular. So there's top, there's latest, there's popular. So we want to look at so they arrange the news based on the top news, the latest news, and the popular one. So let's look at popular. Okay, GBP. Okay, that's it there. You saw it. I saw something on GBP. Pound sterling rebounds after UK. Sorry, let's go back. Sorry. Is that it? Yeah, that's the GBP news now. So we check that one to see the interpretation of the news. Let's see if there's any other headline. Let's go to top. Let's see if there's any other. GBP is strongest. Okay. So anything GBP, I just check it and I use to know what is likely going on. So let's see. Let's see the commentary on the one we just opened, please. So this is how I interpret news. This is how I know what is likely going on. So scroll. Bank of England policymaker dampens hopes of summer rate cut. Dampens hopes of summer rate cut. So people are saying they are going to cut rates. Of course, we know that if you cut rates, the currency will fall most times because the interest you are giving people, if you reduce it, the currency will fall. So they were saying people were hoping they would cut rates during summer. Now the Bank of England is saying, man, don't think about it too. We are not going to cut any rates. As you say, you're not cutting rates, that will make the currency to go up. So we understand why it went up now, because they are saying we will likely not cut rates. So it pumped the market up. So as it pumped the market up, the next thing you are looking for is where is the liquidity that price wants to grab? Where is the liquidity? So when I know what the news is and I see that move, I now ask myself, that news, did it clear all the liquidity? Is there still room to the upside? Is there still more liquidity on the upside? So let's look at our charts. Let's look at our chart. The person that asked this question, are you learning anything? Is you I'm answering, sir. Let's look at our charts on the 4 hours. When price rebounded, did it rebound to clear liquidity? So where is liquidity? Where does liquidity lie? We have diagonal liquidity, low resistance liquidity run. Okay, so that's liquidity there, that's liquidity there. Where else do we have liquidity? We have liquidity, so draw the trend line. Exactly, so that's slanting liquidity. Now draw sideways liquidity, horizontal liquidity. Let's see horizontal liquidity too. Equal highs. Where else is liquidity? Liquidity resides inside fair value gaps. Fair value gaps. 50% of the fair value gap is a liquidity level. Where is our fair value gap? All right, so let's mark 50% of that fair value gap. That whole gap is a liquidity level. Where else does liquidity lie? At a flip zone. Previous support becoming resistance. So where is previous support? That's a support that became resistance. That's a flip zone there. CJ, have you seen the flip zone? Can you mark it? Is there any support that has not yet become resistance? So 1.25112, right? Which coincides with fair value gap 50%, consequent encroachment, which is close to where sideways liquidity is, equal highs, which is close to where diagonal liquidity is. Yes or no? So based on this, we still see that there is possible room to the upside. So where is price going? The same token. So I've shown you the liquidity to the upside that price wants to grab. Now price is coming down. Where is liquidity to the downside? Where is the diagonal liquidity? CJ, please mark that. Diagonal liquidity or slanting resistance liquidity. There's even another one, those weeks, candle number 1, candle number 2, candle number 3 of the fair value gap. There's liquidity there. There's a very sharp liquidity. The low of the fair value gap and the low of the candle before the fair value gap and the one before that one, candle number 1, candle number 2, candle number 3. You can draw another diagonal there. The low, the low, the low. Exactly. Exactly. Fantastic. So is there liquidity there? Yes, there is. Is there a flip zone there? Is there a flip zone, a place where previous resistance became support? Exactly. That's a flip zone there. Abi, is there a fair value gap, whether inverted fair value or normal fair value? To see this, we may have to come to the 1 hour time frame. Yes or no, my brother? Fantastic. So where is my fair value gap? Do you see a flip zone there? Is there a flip zone there? Exactly. There's a real flip zone right there. So 50% of that. Exactly. Exactly. So that's a flip zone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And there's liquidity there too. So where do we see price going if it's coming down? Please answer. If there's going to be a draw on liquidity, fantastic. That whole region and then the fair value gap below, 50% of that fair value gap. Thank you. Exactly. So that whole region. So there's a flip zone, there's a fair value gap, there's diagonal liquidity. So that is a potential place that will act as a magnet. So if it taps into that place, let's mark it. So why are we saying there's still liquidity to the upside? Because Bank of England said there will be no rate cut. And as they said that, price jumped to the upside, but it did not consume all that liquidity. So thank you. Fantastic. That's it. That's a possibility. So we'll come back, take a screenshot of this, and let's see. So if you want to sell, you can quickly sell into that IOFED. I don't even think price may not come to that 50% because of that other block that CJ marked, and because we have seen a grab of liquidity below that other block. Yes, that other block is a protected low, and it coincides with that other flip zone. Exactly. So price may not tap, although it's just how many pips. CJ, I like the way you are following, because we are seeing the same thing. We are all seeing the same thing. Yes, we have our individual trading style, but you are trading sentiment and you are trading structure. Another structure is basic structure and then liquidity concepts around structure. So it's either it comes there, comes to the other place. So once it taps into that level, boom, it's even an IOFED. So it will just tap into it. So that place now acts as a shoulder, that red order block. So let's bring it to 15 minutes, sir. The person that asked this question, is this helpful or we're wasting your time? Fantastic. So beautiful, beautiful. If you can even see, do you see something, guys? See something. Where that resistance is, that's a shoulder. Yes or no? That's a shoulder. That's a shoulder. Before that resistance, there's a shoulder. Around 22nd, early in the morning. You are right, TJ. Go back. Go back. Go back. Thank you. That's a sweep. Where is the shoulder of that sweep? That's the shoulder. Abi? That's the shoulder. That's the sweep. Where is break of structure to the downside? Shoulder sweep. Thank you. Now, based on box pattern, it's supposed to go where and grab liquidity. Box pattern, shoulder, sweep, break of structure to the downside. It will now return to mitigate. Thank you. When it mitigated at that place, what's supposed to happen? At that place, price returned back following box pattern to that place. When it got there, what's supposed to happen, people? That exact place where CJ just marked, as price got back there, following box pattern, what should have happened at that place? Let's know how we are not talking to ourselves. What should have happened at that place? Shoulder, sweep, break of structure to the downside, return back to inducement. Thank you. Oladipo says sell. What happened at that place? Box pattern, what? Failure. Yes or no? Because instead of it selling, you saw the sell, it came down small. What did it now do? And every box pattern failure shows you the sellers have lost control. So as those sellers lost control, what did it now create? Diagonal liquidity. It now broke to the upside. Price will return back to the region where price failed, where the box pattern failed. And when it gets to that region where box pattern failed, what do we expect? All right. I hope you are okay with it. Pip said this is why I chose the buy. Thank you. Because the sellers lost out. All right. I hope this is helpful to anybody. So by now you should understand how we trade. Box pattern, where we take the reversal. If box pattern fails, you wait for the failure to play out. You wait for it to create liquidity. You look at the regions where liquidity lies. Price will come back there and then go and grab liquidity. All of this within the framework of fundamentals. They are not going to cut interest rates, so we should expect price to go up. And when price went up, it didn't grab. Okay, another confirmation is variation on D1. Fantastic. Let's look at that. Shei is someone I respect in terms of trading and investing. So let's look at that. So Mr. GU, they have given you your complete. Okay, variation. That's true. That's the variation there. That's the variation there. Those of you who don't know what variation is, you need to link up with Sami Matt, ADC. Okay, fantastic. All right, there's even stopper shocker. That whole thing is a stopper shocker. Is Morningstar candle number 1? Candle number 1. Candle number 2, which is the doji. Candle number 1, thank you. Those of you who have done ATM. Candle number 2, which is the doji. And then candle number 3. Candle number 3. So you can see the way it's lining up. Candle number 3. But the only problem is the high of candle number 3 did not clear the high of candle number 1, but the close cleared it. It closed higher and it has created liquidity. Fantastic. Everybody, this is a fine trade. So we'll now just look at the dollar index. If dollar index gives us a push to the downside when price gets to that region, that's a good trade and it should go quite far. All right, so those of you, this is a good place to enter. Your stop loss will be below yesterday's low or below the stopper shocker. Even if you get stopped out, this is how to trade. All right. CJ, over to you back at the floor. I hope I didn't contradict anybody's analysis today. And where is it going? Look at the stopper shocker, stopper continuation on the 13th. Thank you. Candle number 1, candle number 2, candle number 3. Stopper continuation. Candle number 1, candle number 2, candle number 3, where the buyers failed to take control. So that close, very sweet, is also a flip zone. There's also a fair value gap above it. It may enter into that fair value gap. And then, of course, that now gives us a clear, exactly, fantastic. All right, so let's mark this and see how it unfolds. Over to the guys back at the floor. I would have loved to analyze CHF-JPY also to see how that trade has moved along for those of you. But has this been helpful in terms of you understanding the basic concepts? If you don't understand anything we said, please let us know. You don't understand, bring out 10,000 and pay for box pattern. Fantastic, thank you. So that's what trading is: sentiment, correlation, correlated assets, related assets, structure, higher highs, higher lows, understanding what the trend is, liquidity concepts, which is basically where is liquidity, external liquidity, internal liquidity, inducement. External liquidity is at the swing highs, diagonal liquidity, equal highs, equal lows. They create liquidity, they consume liquidity. They create liquidity, they consume liquidity, and things like that. And then, of course, psychology. Psychology. Psychology is purely you. Psychology has to do with, number 1, how broke or how rich you are. If you are trading money that you absolutely need, your psychology is going to be messed up. Number 2, psychology is dependent on how much back testing you've done and how confident you are in your structure and your sentiment, your edge. Number 3, psychology is also based on the quality of your edge, the nature of your funds, and then also if you are playing the long-term game, then your accountability and your association. It helps your psychology. So CHF-JPY, let's see where it is, what it has done. Okay, on the daily, I told you that CHF-JPY is going to be like our indicator for whether JPY is going to start buying. Okay, what do we see here? CHF-JPY. So that's our shoulder, that's our sweep. Price has tapped into it. Do you see that it has engineered liquidity? So price tapped into it, is now at the high, right? There's still a fair value gap, but it has come close. So where is the liquidity? Where is the diagonal liquidity? Can you see diagonal liquidity anywhere? That's one. There's also one above after the fair value gap. Thank you. Where is the fair value gap? Where is the flip zone? Thank you. So that's a magnet for price. So every diagonal liquidity, there must be a fair value gap. Where is the fair value gap of this latest diagonal liquidity that you just drew? There's not much on this time frame. Exactly, that's the flip zone. Is there any flip zone on this other one? So we see where price is likely coming to. Exactly. 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 Now there's also horizontal liquidity above 17100. Those equal highs. Those equal highs. Those equal highs into that fair value gap, into that flip zone. So that's sideways liquidity there, equal highs. Draw the trend line, but it's a horizontal trend line. Exactly. Fantastic. You have already drawn it. Fantastic. So where's the fair value gap? Where's the 50%? That's even more of that thing. No, really is more of horizontal, CJ. It's not very clear. When they are creating liquidity, you will know from the slope. So that's the trend line. Draw the flip zone, please. Draw the flip zone. Above that yellow line, 170.80, there's a flip zone there where previous support became resistance. Exactly. And that flip zone coincides with the equal highs, which is horizontal liquidity. So liquidity is either a straight line or a slanting line. A straight line or a slanting line. Exactly. So there's a flip zone there. So that's another place where price will likely tap into. There's a flip zone there. There's a fair value gap there. Thank you. So 50% of that, price can also tap into that. I'm saying in case you just see price snap, boom, maybe news or something, and tap into that place. That's where it's going. All right. Then where is our flip zone to the downside? CJ, see that fair value gap, IOFED, right at the, exactly there, exactly. There's an IOFED there. Right there, exactly. Fair value gap, thank you. And exactly, so 50% of that. Thank you. So those are the places where liquidity is resting. So all those are the places. Now, so do we understand? So that's our box pattern. That's our shoulder. That's our sweep. That's break of structure to the downside. Price can tap into that. So for the sell, where do we expect the sell to get to now? 168.48. Yes or no? 168.48. That's where the next liquidity is, or 50% of that fair value gap, 50% of that fair value gap. At least it should do 50%. So maybe 168 spots. What's 50% there? Spot 70. 168 spot 70 or 65, exactly. So price can tap into that level. If it taps into that level, it may go up and grab the liquidity to the upside. Is this making sense? All right, I think we have done very well today. We have taken a lot of time. So that's basically it there. Thank you so much, guys. So that's for the sell. Shoulder, sweep, break of structure to the downside. So you can see the box pattern clearly. If price is coming down, that's where it's going to 168.65. And then if it clears that one, it's going to clear the one below there, 167. If it clears that one, it's going to clear the one below there, 165. If it clears that, I don't know what's going to happen next, right? So that's another trade opportunity for you guys. And of course, if it breaks and clears above 171, That means we have box pattern failure. We'll take note of all the levels, and then it's still going up. We'll confirm this with yen index. Yen index has to be coming down if CHF-JPY wants to go up. Thank you very much for your time. Over to you, CJ. It was very lengthy. Cheers. God bless.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful commentary as usual. We hope everyone who has been a part of today's call will be able to take advantage of all the analysis that we've done, and then you will also make profits from all the analysis and trades that you will be taking accordingly. Thank you. Until 3 p.m. again, we'll be meeting for the New York session of the market column. Wish you good luck and good trading. Cheers and God bless, guys.